Carbs, 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 and more carbs. Also carbs. All humans love carbs. It's so deeply wired in our gut and brain that it's difficult to resist them, especially the sweet ones. Carbs dramatically affect the way we manage energy. If you can think or do sports on an empty stomach, have a bad mood if you don't eat every 3 hours, there is something you need to know about carbs. Many people will feel tired and dizzy if they don't eat every 3 hours. All of us at some time in our lives have felt these symptoms for not eating for a long period. You probably heard that we have to eat many times throughout the day, that you need to eat before doing sports, and your personal experience probably confirmed this, isn't it? But how can some people skip meals or go all day without eating? How can they do sports without eating? And is healthy as well? Is everybody crazy? No, nowadays we know that intermittent fasting improves our health. But let's understand first how carbohydrates influence our mental and physical performance. And after that, you can try intermittent fasting, losing weight easily, or just having more energy. Food is very important to be healthy, but the kind of food we eat is also super important to have mental strength and motivation to be who you want to be, or just having the life you dream of. The type of carbs we eat influence mood, brain performance, physical performance, how long can we stay without eating. Also, it influences hormones, inflammation, what kind of gut bacteria do we have, aging, risk of diabetes, obesity, and much more. For decades, we have been told that eating carbs is healthy. We need to eat every 2 or 3 hours, with many studies showing that this helps in weight management, improves physical performance or mental activity. The brain needs sugar. I listen a lot at university, and that's why I ate chocolates and snacks when I study for exams. Supermarket shelves have thousands of products rich in sugar and starch. Snacks are sold everywhere, from the cinema to the gym. It's the carbs pandemic. They are everywhere. Carbs, carbs, and more carbs. Diabetes, obesity, acne. Snacks, snacks, and more snacks. Tiredness, mood swings, hyperactivity. It's definitely good for the business, not so for our health. So you're probably asking, are we carb eaters? We are definitely carb eaters. Carbs are present in all plants. Carrots, tomatoes, potatoes, peas, even bread and cookies, they all have carbs. But by any means, it's the same to eat a carrot or a cereal bar. They may have the same calories, but they have different nutritional profiles, different antioxidant potential. They feed different gut bacteria, which affects our gut health and immunity. As you see, to compare food only in terms of calories is a mistake. And another big difference is the glycemic index and glycemic load, which impacts our energy management. Glycemic index and glycemic load tell us how quickly a food raises our blood glucose levels. Foods with a high glycemic index are generally sweeter and raise blood sugar quickly than foods with a low glycemic index. In order to get the best performance while keeping our body and brain young and healthy, glucose must slowly fluctuate within a limited range. If blood sugar goes above 99, it can damage proteins in the nerves and blood cells, increase oxidation and inflammation. The risk of cardiovascular disease goes up. If blood sugar goes below 70, we can have headaches, dizziness, shakiness, lack of energy, or even faint. Anything that goes way above will fall way below the baseline. That's one reason why people can have hypoglycemias and typically happens 1 to 3 hours after a meal. If we only eat high glycemic food along the day, the blood sugar will be constantly peaking on the red zone, and over time we may start to develop insulin resistance, which lead us to obesity or diabetes. On the other side, these peaks lead us to very low downs, which make us crave for sweets or high glycemic food, have mood swings, lack of attention, and even aggressive behavior. It's the sugar roller coaster. If we have a diet very low in carbs and for any reason we need more glucose, our body can use the glucose stored in the form of glycogen in the muscles and liver, or produce it by a process called neoglucogenesis. The risk of messing up glucose management is when we eat. Let's see some examples. The carbs in their diet are leaves, barks, other vegetables and wild fruit, which are very poor in sugar. Glucose enters blood very slowly, so it can be managed efficiently. Glucose fluctuations are smooth, causing no oxidation, inflammation or energy deprivation issues. The carbs in these diets are edible leaves, also called salads, tubercles like sweet potatoes, fruits, seeds, whole grains to a greater or lesser extent. Glucose enters blood slowly, so it can be managed efficiently. Glucose fluctuations are mild, causing no oxidation, inflammation or energy deprivation issues. The carbs in these diets are sugar and starch in the form of soft drinks, bread, cookies, snacks, pizzas, cakes, morning cereals, pasta, rice, potatoes, very sweet fruits, occasionally some low-fiber vegetables. Glucose enters blood fast, causing quick rise. It's a sugar roller coaster, with spikes time to time causing oxidation, inflammation, energy fluctuations, fake hunger or craving throughout the day. The more sweets, sugar-rich cereals, bread, flour-made products we eat, the more ups and downs we have. This causes fluctuations in physical and mental performance, fluctuations in the mood and behavior, and even worse, it shapes our habits and the way our body functions. The problem is this: we have to eat every 2 or 3 hours, because 2 or 3 hours after we eat, we have a down in the blood sugar in proportion to the up we had previously. And that comes with symptoms like stomach noises, lack of energy and mood swings. You can call it anger, but it's more artificial anger or sugar withdrawal syndrome. If we are in a sugar and flour diet, we have to eat every 2 or 3 hours, otherwise our performance will decrease. We become hostage to food. We fall into the snacking behavior. The problem is bigger than it seems. Many big financial interests are involved. Food industry wants to earn more money each year. To accomplish that, they need you to eat more and more. And money can buy opinions and decisions to have dietary guidelines in their favor. You should eat 8 times a day, not 2 times. Snacking is good for their bank account, not for our health. And with the obesity pandemic, the world needs a culprit, the fats. So they start a new business, selling food tagged as light. That means food lower in fat. But fat is not the problem, and because of it, the obesity pandemic didn't slow down. This industry knows that high glycemic food, high savory food and high salty food are extremely addictive and generates artificial hunger, that wrong feeling of hunger, and imbalance of the brain chemicals dopamine and endorphins, leading us to addiction. Besides fluctuations in brain and physical performance,
fluctuations in mood and behavior. This type of Western diet can lead to diabetes, cardiovascular disease, rapid aging, frequent inflammations, disrupt the gut microbiome, proliferation of yeast, hormonal imbalance, or weakened immune system.
So, you're probably thinking, I can't eat anything. Well, it's a common reaction. Your mind is giving you these thoughts because it is addicted to the dopamine hit and the endorphins it gets when you eat junk food and sugary drinks. But ask yourself a question. Do you eat to get all the essential nutrients you need to be healthy and achieve your goals? Or you eat only to get high? Because it is okay and healthy to get high once in a while, but every day. We live in a society driven by the dopamine control of our mind that make us buy, eat, post, and is making us so unhappy, weak, dissatisfied with life. We need to treat ourselves with more respect so we don't waste our life in disease and procrastination. And the truth is, there are hundreds of food sources that we can eat, delicious meals, but the addicted mind can't see it.
Take this simple test to find out if you might have a sugar addiction. Do you have frequent sudden mood swings? Do you often feel sleepy after the main meals? Do you need to take stimulants like coffee in order to work? Do you feel always tired and any task is a big mission? Do you crave sweets? If you don't eat for several hours, do you feel weak, dizzy, and shaky? If you don't eat for several hours, do you feel irritable or unable to concentrate? Do you occasionally have low blood pressure or even faint? If you got 4 positive answers, you are probably hooked. You are on a sugar roller coaster.
If you want to do intermittent fasting, you need first to regain control over your energy, otherwise you feel weak and angry. If you want to have your best physical and mental performance, you need to regain control over your energy as well. If you have mood swings, hyperactivity, or attention issues, try to see if diet is playing a role. You don't need to do the Ape Diet, nor a strict ancestral diet. It's easier than you think. And after a couple of weeks, the brain will rewire in new connections to new habits and new tastes. The brain is an amazing machine. Give yourself time to be the best version of you.
What I've learned from science, clinical, and personal experience. The body needs glucose, but it must come from very slow release sources. Bread, pasta, and rice are already in the yellow zone, so they should be consumed in moderation and after physical activities when there is a greater capacity to absorb them. In adults, the need to eat every 2 or 3 hours is determined by the type of carbs we eat. If we have a diet low in carbs with high glycemic index and moderate in median glycemic index, we have no need or desire to eat unless we do intense physical activity. Children have a faster metabolism and need to eat more often, but don't force them if they don't want and are healthy. All of this influences scientific studies and dietary guidelines. For example, if the people chosen to find out if intermittent fasting makes us hungry eat the wrong carbs and don't have a preparation period, they're obviously going to complain about extreme hunger.
Neurons love sugar. Glucose is an important source of energy and they love it. But that means that we need to eat high glycemic carbs. Of course not. If too much sugar is available, neurons will lose control and become addicted. It's a deadly love, hardwired in the brain. Well, now I will share with you a way to regain control over your energy.
Don't cut out snacks overnight. You might have withdrawal syndrome. Do the breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but don't eat more than 3 snacks per day. Snacks must be seeds, nuts, vegetables like carrot sticks, and not sweet fruit. At breakfast, try to eat eggs or yogurt with whole granola, oat, or flaxseed flour. Add fruit and nuts and omega-3 like flaxseed oil or liquid fish oil. Protein and omega-3 reduce craving. Control the bread you eat and cut on cookies, cakes, and soft drinks. You need to find how much bread your body can tolerate. I love bread. When I eat bread, I know that the next 2 days I will feel withdrawal syndrome, stomach noise, sudden energy losses. That's because I do intermittent fasting, skipping breakfast. If you don't want to do it, or if you love so much eating your bread every day, eat in moderation, but always check how that affects your body energy management. Protein, good fats, and good carbs like nuts, sweet potato, cassava make us feel fuller for longer. Olive oil and other good oils give us energy and make us less fat than bad carbs do. Start your lunch and dinner with a salad dressed with vinegar or lemon juice. It smooths the rise of blood sugar. After a few days, cut on snacks. You will feel much less need to eat them. Have a day off once a week to eat your favorite pet food. You will see how you'll feel in the following days. Find the best balance for you. It might be different from mine. Master your energy system to have better health and performance. We can and should have random days off and get back on our human diet, and not on the diet that the food industry and its sponsored experts say we should do.
Give yourself time, but be the best version of you.